Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Suite 301, the March 15th episode, coming to you live from Cold Club Sports offices here in Pittsburgh, PA. We're here to give you all the latest updates and news around Cold Club Sports. You can watch all of our broadcasts here on the Suite 301 page, on our Facebook pages and YouTube.
And welcome aboard, Alec. Good start, Eric.
Both
Usually, Sandy's sitting next to me, so it's
good
to see you. Anyway, remember to like our Facebook pages and follow our Twitter accounts for the latest news and media. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel for videos from around our leagues and to watch previous episodes of Suite 301.
Where do you want to start?
Let's jump right into basketball.
Okay.
We're right in the meat of the season, I'll call it. Probably actually a little further down the line than the meat. But we are getting close to the postseason. We have regional playoffs taking place on April 2nd and April 3rd. We have 2 more weeks left in the regular season, so a lot of big games taking place these next 2 weeks. And before I get into the big games taking place, just want to congratulate. We have 19 teams that have clinched postseason berths. There's only 32 spots available, so I think our percentage, we're right under 60% of the teams clinching postseason berths. So in the Great Lakes, I want to send congratulations to Notre Dame, who clinches the Great Lakes North Conference, DePaul, the runner-up in the North, and then we have St. Louis and Missouri Black. Both have qualified for spots in the South, Great Lakes South Conference, but depending on how things shake out in these next 2 weeks, either Missouri Black or St. Louis will win the conference. So we'll see how that plays out. In the Great Lakes East, we have Purdue clinching. We don't know if they're going to be a conference winner or a runner-up, but they have certainly clinched a spot. And then out in the West, we have Creighton as the conference winner and Iowa State as the runner-up. So congratulations to those Great Lakes teams. If any of you guys are listening, you guys received an email today with specific information, hotels, schedule, and things like that where you're playing. So make sure to look out for that. In the North Atlantic, we have St. Bonaventure and Syracuse have clinched spots in the North Atlantic North. Depending, I think they play Week 21. Whoever wins that series will move on as the conference champion. The other will be a runner-up. Out in the East, we have TCNJ. They have clinched a spot. Again, we don't know if they're going to be a conference winner or runner-up. And then out in the West, Ohio State University Gray, they are their conference winner. And then Robert Morris University is the runner-up. In the New England, we have UConn winning the South and Boston College winning the East. Those are the only 2 teams that have clinched spots in the New England. In the South Atlantic, we have Auburn winning the South Conference Championship and Florida State as the runner-up. And then last but not least, in the Mid-Atlantic, Towson is the conference champion in the North, Navy the conference runner-up, and then in the South we have Radford winning that conference. So congratulations to those 19 teams. I expect at this time next week we'll have quite a few more teams clinch spots, and I want to get into some big key matchups this upcoming week. Have a lot. I'm not going to go through most of them, but the one big key matchup, it's going to dictate a lot. Delaware playing at Penn State. Delaware's 11-1. Penn State's 9-1. So that's going to be a big deciding factor in how that conference shakes out. So really excited to see how those games play. I saw them at the fall tournament in State College in November, and they're 2 really, really good teams. So that should be a really tightly contested matchup. I'm looking forward to see how those scores play out. So that's where we're at in the season. Did want to cut over to our top 20. We just will be releasing our men's Week 20 top 20 on this upcoming Thursday, but this is the previous pool, the Week 18, and you see Boston College, I believe for the 3rd straight week, they are the #1 team in the country. They have an unblemished 12-0 record.
Nice word.
Yes.
You had a lot of big jumps there.
Yes, yeah, we had 3 new teams join the top 20, UConn, Albany, Delaware, but yeah.
Creighton
all
the way to 10.
Yep, yeah, a lot of big jumps. Auburn making a big splash there. So those are online. Like I said, we will have the most updated one, Week 20 top 20 pool coming out this Thursday. So stay tuned for that. Other housekeeping items just to look out for on the men's side, and I'm sure Alec will touch on these on the women's side as well, but we will be getting LPAs out for the 2022-2023 season here shortly. So we know you guys are, some of you are on spring break right now, but we'll be the season and not only your academic year will be ending soon. So we want to make sure that you guys get those LPAs before you leave for school so you get the appropriate signatures and get those back into us. So be on the lookout for those coming to your email inbox. And also looking for postseason updates, regionals as well as the national championship. We did sign 2 host hotels for our national championship tournament just a few hours ago. The Courtyard by Marriott Erie Bayfront and the Sheraton Erie Bayfront, 2 beautiful properties that we're really excited to be working with. So that was just finalized an hour or so ago. So make sure you're following up on those web pages, the regional and the postseason, for updates regarding the postseason. But other than that, I think we're like I said, we're
couple weeks out.
Yeah, couple weeks out. Season's going to end, and we'll be getting into the postseason and national championship. So it's an exciting time in basketball. So looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting few weeks. That being said, let's jump over. Let's try and get Alec on the line here or on the show to talk NCBBA women's basketball. There he is. Alec, how are you, sir? Having trouble hearing you. Is there anything on your end, or is that on our end?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I can hear you now. Beautiful. So, Alec, let's talk. Let's jump right into your most recent top 15 poll.
Yeah, nothing changed on top. Penn State still number 1. They've remained number 1 for 7 consecutive polls now. Ever since the preseason poll, ever since the fall tip-off, they've been our number 1 team. So nothing changed there. We did have some shake-up in the top 5, where we had Penn State, Villanova, Boston College, Syracuse, and Fairfield all round out that top 5. All of those teams are undefeated in conference play, so not really too much of a surprise there. Not too much shake-up here. We have some teams jumping in the top 15. We had Cortland come from unranked, but other than that, those are the same teams, just kind of jumping each other that have been in the top 15 for the past few weeks.
Awesome, and I think I say it every time, but Penn State's, very impressive. Got to see them play. They're a very impressive team, and certainly are a number 1 team in my opinion. But let's talk on the men's side. We talked some season updates, talking about some big games coming up. Your season schedule mirrors the men's, where you got regionals coming up at the beginning of April. So these next 2 weeks are going to be big in determining who makes it to the postseason. So talk to us about any teams that have clinched spots in regional tournaments, any regional tournament locations that have been locked down, and maybe even touch on some big games you got coming up this week or next.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had 14 teams clinch a playoff spot. We touched on 3 of them at the last Sweet 301 episode. Those were Grand Valley State, Saginaw Valley State, and Kennesaw State. Bunch of state schools, but they all clinched a while back. But we do have 11 new teams that have clinched since then. So those to touch on those: Indiana, SIUE, Penn State, Syracuse, Fairfield, and San Jose State all won their conference. So they are all either going to be a 1 or a 2 seed in their tournament. We also had Iowa, Cal Poly, and SUNY Cortland clinch as runner-ups. So in all 3 of those are 1 conference regions. So that'll be them traveling to the 1 seed to play in a 3-game series. And we had 2 other teams clinch a spot. That's Villanova and Boston College. They've clinched a spot into the playoffs. We don't know, based off the standings, whether they're going to be a 1, 2, 3, or 4 seed. But they have clinched their spot into the postseason. So congratulations to all 11 of those teams. We do have a couple big matchups coming up. We have one this weekend, actually, that has playoff implications. High Point travels to Coastal Carolina, and that will determine the South Atlantic runner-up. So winner of that game will be traveling to, or winner of that series, will be traveling to Kennesaw State to be playing them for the regional tournament. And then we also have Ohio State traveling to Cleveland State in week 21. And Ohio State just needs to win one game and they're in. But Cleveland State takes 2, then it's going to be Miami of Ohio.
Wow. So what you mentioned, I think you said 14 women's teams have clinched spots into the postseason. How many spots are available?
It's a good question. I don't have an exact number for you.
Put them on the spot.
I know that's yeah, you did. You put me on the spot there. That's a bulk of them. We only have a few spots left.
That's what I figured.
I would say we have less than 5 spots left.
Okay.
Somewhere in that range. Most of the field has been determined, but we do still have a few spots left.
Okay. Yeah, so another big couple weeks for the women's teams. Any housekeeping items that teams should be made aware of?
Just kind of the same things that you touched on. I mean, we'll get those LPAs out here pretty soon, so we can get those teams renewed, get that in their hands before summer break starts. Also, something that's different from men's that I wanted to touch on. Any teams that have clinched the 1 seed for the regional playoff, make sure that you're locking down your courts. 1 seeds host in women's basketball. So just make sure you're getting those taken care of now, just so we don't get to the week of regionals and you're scrambling to get that taken care of.
Absolutely. And one other thing on men's and women's that I forgot to touch on is the annual league meeting. We haven't set a date for that specifically, but do historically host that very soon after the national championship. So expect that to happen end of April, early May. But once we get a date nailed down, figured out, we will let the teams know. Because that'll be a very important meeting for teams to take part in. So be on the lookout for that as well. Alec, anything else that you need to touch on with women's basketball, or does that about wrap it up for you?
I think that wraps up women's basketball. I think we're all good.
Good stuff, man. Well, thank you so much, Alec, for joining us this month. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be back to talk
NCBA.
NCBA. Oh, there you are.
The Game is the official headwear sponsor for Cold Club Sports. They offer our team's quality headwear, such as hats, visors, boonies, and beanies for a great low price. All items are customizable to meet our team's needs. Contact Felicia.Battaglia at coldclubsports.com for all of your headwear needs.
Thank you for sticking with us. We're going to get into some club baseball talk, National Club Baseball Association. We've got our leader, Eric Curator, here, who heads up Vice President of Baseball Operations, to talk baseball. So we're also going to have Sandy Sanderson on to talk about spring training, as that is in full swing down in Panama City Beach. So let's talk about some things while we wait for Sandy to get on here.
Yeah, we got a special guest, as Christian alluded to, Sandy Sanderson, president of NCBA.
Look at this.
Fresh off, getting back from Florida. He's got a beautiful tan.
Hey, boys, what's going on?
What's happening? Welcome to Suite 301.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Yeah, you introduced me like no one's ever seen me before. Has it been that long?
I'm just trying to give you an important introduction.
Appreciate it.
So you just got back from Florida. Let's talk spring training.
I did. Hey, week 1 was outstanding. The complex, like the big thing, like everybody that came in that had been to Tampa with our spring training in Tampa before was like, well, this was an upgrade.
Yeah.
So it really went well. We had, like, the first 4 days, we had record high temperatures. It was sunny, hot. Everyone was coming out sunburnt. But then where the complex really paid off was, like, last Wednesday, we had some rain, some thunderstorms. We had some lightning delays in the morning, kind of pushed us back. But, as soon as the rain let up, boom, we were back to playing on the turf fields. Jimmy Henderson made a comment. He goes, this would be a lot less stressful if we were playing in Tampa because we just called a day off because of the rain.
Yeah.
The rains would have ruined the field for the day. But no, we played all the games that Wednesday. I think we finished 30 minutes behind schedule at the end of the night. was a great day.
Yeah.
And, we got back to some good dry weather the next day. So
I'll put you on the spot real quick. Is any memorable moments, games, teams?
I'll tell you what,
one?
Virginia Tech looks like they're primed to repeat.
Returning national champ.
Yep, returning national champs. They looked good. Penn State looked good, I thought. East Carolina had some guys that hit some monster shots. I was kind of running around, making sure umpires were in the right places, shuttling people around in the golf carts. We had a lot of parents down there.
Yep.
It was a really good experience. Memorable experience. Memorable moment.
A couple walk-offs I think I saw online.
That might have been. I didn't get to watch that much baseball.
Yeah.
I'm running around like crazy, but maybe the Edinburgh Carnegie Mellon, rain delay banter.
Oh yeah.
During the rain delay kind of thing, the way they got after it, having fun on the field and so forth. That kind of stuck out, but I don't know. I didn't quite catch just enough baseball to remember any of the specific highlights.
Well, how many teams were down there for week one? I believe about 20. I think it was.
I think we had 23 baseball.
Okay. And this week 2, we have how many?
25 baseball,
okay.
I believe.
And then probably another handful next week, I imagine.
I think 6 or 7 next week, too.
Gotcha.
So, teams look good. I mean, teams were having a great time down there. I got to talk to them, almost all of them, as they were exiting the park at the end of the week. And, I was like, hope you had fun, so forth. Hope you'll come back next year. They're like, absolutely.
Done.
We're already –
yeah.
Our wheels are turning on how we're going to make next year's trip even better. Maybe they're going to upgrade their lodging or where they want to stay and things like that. But, the town really has a lot to do, and it's easy to get around it. It's not that big a place. A lot of restaurants, a lot of clubs that were just lines out the door.
Nice little spring break destination.
Yes, exactly. So the guys really seem to, and they talk, I'm an old guy. The young kids don't really want to tell me all the fun they're having, but apparently Jimmy and Antonio got the scoop from some guys, just telling them about, hey, this club was great last night. We had a good time, stuff like that. I talked to this club softball teams that were down there too. They were talking about, we went to this place for dinner, and then it turned into a karaoke bar, and we ended up spending like 7 hours there because we were having so much fun. So,
sounds like a good time. I know that's a big move. Obviously, we were in Tampa for over a decade. It's exciting to get down to Panama City, use the new facility, get the teams to get down there and see it, especially after last year with COVID and everything. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Anything else for us on the spring training front? I know games are going on right now as we speak.
I know they had 16 games played yesterday. That's a really full slate because the fifth field was all full of practices. Today they got some weather coming through, so they're in a rain delay now. But I think they're expected to pick it back up at 4:00. And get right back on schedule there. So might have to push a game to tomorrow, something that was rained out earlier in the day today. But we got great skies, great weather coming tomorrow, and what's tomorrow? Tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday for sure. So here we go.
All right, we're right back at it. Appreciate it.
And this is the big week for softball too. There's 6 teams down there I think this week. So Lacey's on site working with the softball teams.
Hopefully we'll be getting to her down on site.
Yeah, we'll see. I know the plans are to talk with somebody down there. I know the weather, as you were mentioning, is not cooperating, to say the least. So we'll see what happens in a little bit. But I think that should wrap up spring training for right now. Got anything else?
That's all I got.
All right, let's keep it moving. Thank you, Sandy. D2 World Series logo. Hopefully we can get that up on the screen real quick here. Jimmy Henderson, who's down in Florida right now, our Division II director, there it is, just finalized his logo for the World Series. You guys check it out. We'll be up at Pullman Park, Butler, PA, about 45 minutes up the highway here from Pittsburgh. It's nice to get that out there and get it finalized. I know Jimmy's been working hard on all the small details, whether it's the hotels, the sponsors, all the good stuff now that the facility's locked in. So, we're excited to get that logo out there, and we got our Division I logo as well, if that'll pop up there in a second. There it is. We'll be down there in Greenwood, South Carolina, Dolney Stadium, on the campus of Lander University. Excited to get that out there, get it published. We could start working on the small details, the banners, the souvenirs, and all that good stuff too. So, that's going to be here before you know. And I know you said basketball is, 2 weeks away? You got your championships in a month. I was looking at a calendar the other day. Our World Series and playoff events are a month and a half away, 2 months. So
I don't know what it is. I'm probably coming off of COVID. I mean, things are just it's flying
moving.
by. Yeah,
It's
it's
moving.
flying by. So it's an exciting time, certainly. So let's talk top 20 pools. Let's get the start with the D2 top 20.
Yeah.
Let's
get
see
that
where we
overlay
stand
up
with
there.
that.
Talk a little shop. University of North Dakota, they got 12 first-place votes. They've been there since the beginning. Returning World Series team, 12 of the 15 first-place votes. Cal University of PA gets the other 3. University of San Diego made a huge jump. Went from 15 to 4. Good for them. And I believe we got 4 guys entered the 4 schools, entered the top 20. So kudos to these guys. As the season goes on, obviously this is going to play itself out. One of the things you guys will notice, even on the Division I poll, through all the banter on social media I'm seeing, is all those teams who have yet to play, you're not really getting the credit probably that you want, which is fine. But as you guys start playing, you'll start moving up the polls too. So it's just something to keep in mind. But new D2 poll will be coming out this week. I think we'll see some shakeups. I know we've seen a lot of these teams down to spring training. I believe North Dakota, off the top of my head, dropped a game the other day. Cal PA, I believe, went 4 or 5-0 down in Florida. Wisconsin's down there as well. Ohio State. A lot of these schools are playing down in Florida. If not, they're heavy into their conference schedules. So expect a lot of changes. We'll see that on Thursday. And check the websites, check social media.
Let's talk D1 pools.
Yeah, Virginia Tech, as we talked about earlier, reigning national champ. They got 10 of the 20 possible first-place votes. Big jump. Grand Canyon went all the way up to 4 from 15. 2019 World Series champ Illinois moved up to number 5 from number 7. We had, 4 teams jump in the top 20 for the first time. A lot of these teams are down in Florida playing games. A lot of these teams are Florida, California schools are heavy into their conference schedules. A lot of the schools probably down low. Other receiving votes, you'll notice, they haven't started playing their conference games yet. So, as I was saying earlier, this is going to change a lot as the weeks go on here. But it's fun, Shout out to Southern Methodist.
Central Florida, I see, made a big jump too.
Yep, they
19 to
took
6.
2 out of 3 from Florida State.
I saw that.
Florida State was in the 2 spot, the poll before. But back to Southern Methodist, I was talking with Norris the other day, and Ryan Norris is the Gulf Coast Regional Director. Southern Methodist is 9-0 right now. No knock to Southern Methodist. We don't think they've won 9 games in the last 5 years. So kudos to those guys. They're doing all the right things on and off the field, and it shows. They've got 12th spot in the rankings, so good for them. And next one will be coming out next week, so be on the lookout for that, and expect some big changes too with all these games down in spring training. So.
Nice. Yeah, congratulations to Southern Methodist. Got some big recruits down there, maybe.
Maybe. Legal or illegal. Who knows? So moving on with the season updates. Yeah, we're full in swing. Big thing we're going to be looking out moving forward is, pay attention to the websites, anything from postseason updates to the World Series to paperwork to anything really. You're going to want to stay up to date and make sure, you're on task, as we like to call it up here. So LPAs will be coming out soon. We are finalizing those as we speak for next year, so be on the lookout for those. We'll email them out probably within a week or 2 here. So as we were talking about with basketball, it's important for you guys to get that done while on campus, so you can 3-dimensionally go to your faculty advisor, get it done. It's going to be a lot harder once the summer hits, and the efficiency of communication's not there. So be on top of that, and yeah, that's really it. Season's full in swing at this point. So
full in swing. It is.
It is full in swing. So
well, talking about being in swing, let's go talk about swing into spring.
I see what you did there.
West. Let's try and get Alec back on the line to talk swing into spring Mesquite. Dang, man. Eric, I know you were out there too,
Call him
along
Eric.
with Alec. There you go. Tell us about the event. How'd it go, Alec?
Yeah, it was great. We fit 15 games into 2 days. We had 8 teams show up. It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of good baseball played. A lot of these teams, this was their first time stepping on a field from the northern states where they haven't had any weather. It was kind of funny. Eric and I were actually cold the whole time, and all those, Boise State and all those teams from the cold weather areas, they were saying how warm it was, and they were perfectly fine. But Eric and I were freezing the whole time. But aside from that, it was
fact.
But no, I mean, a few teams that I did want to highlight, though. We had Boise State, Cal Miramar, and Utah State all go 3-1 while they were down there. So that they had great weeks. We don't hand out an MVP for the event, but I kind of wish we did. Boise State's Trevor Lucky had a crazy weekend. He went 9 for 16 with a double, 5 home runs, 16 RBIs, and 9 runs. So he kind of dominated the show down there. I think it was Saturday. He had 4 home runs alone in 2 games. So he tore it up.
And they were all over the fence. Not to interrupt you. Yeah, they weren't cheapies.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, we did have some inside the park home runs there too, but no, all of his cleared the fence. You know, he was crazy. Another thing that I want to highlight is Cal Miramar going 3-1. All 3 of those wins were against D1 teams. So I mean, you know, they have got to play some games so far this spring, and the D1 team is pretty impressive. So you know, congrats to them as well.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of covered it all really well there. It was a great event. It was nice to see those guys, as you were mentioning, the Montanas, the Utah States, you know, these schools that are coming from snow. And a lot of them actually haven't played in probably close to 2 years, given all the COVID stuff the last couple of years. So it was nice to see them get out in the field. They were having fun. A lot of them were just out there just to get their reps in for the year, but you could tell they were just excited to be on the field at the end of the day. So, you know, shout out to those guys. And like you said, that Boise State kid went absolutely off. We probably should name the award after him after that performance. He was that impressive. So, yeah, let's talk Henderson. I believe that is next week, right outside of Vegas for your second fall tournament. Or excuse me,
yep,
wow, spring tournament.
Yep, Henderson starts next Monday. I'll be heading down there Sunday night, get everything set up Monday morning. But yeah, I'm excited for that one too. We've got 11 teams total coming down, 23 games that we're going to be playing throughout the week. Sorry. You know, there's going to be some good competition there. We've got 2 ranked D1 teams, 1 ranked D2 team, and then plenty of the field is also receiving votes. You know, on the D1 side. So there's a lot of teams down there that a lot of people think are going to be good. So I'm excited to, you know, actually get to see them play some baseball.
Yeah, I know typically that's a very competitive event, and like we were saying earlier, you know, the teams are just excited to get out there. They use it as a bit of a tune-up as their conference series, you know, right after this event too. So it's good practice for them as well. So yeah, it should be an exciting week. We'll be following along with you. Hopefully you get good weather out there. We'll stay tuned to social media for all the updates, and you know, whether it's you guys or the teams posting them, it should be a good, exciting event.
You got hotels locked up out there? Team Travel Source.
Yep, Team Travel Source. So yeah, you know, instead of doing one single host hotel this year, we decided to partner with Team Travel Source. They're a third-party booking system. And, you know, they're super easy to work with, super easy to book through. You know, they create a link for us. We send it out to the teams. They follow that link, and there is, you know, dozens of options for them from any price point. You know, they can filter what price point they want. You know, discounted rates. I was seeing rates on the Vegas Strip for $50 a night down there. So there's a lot of competitive rates. So excited to, you know, get some feedback on the teams, what they think. I think it's a super easy process, and they're very easy to work with. So pretty excited to have them.
Awesome, man. Anything else on the Spring Training West? I will say, you know, the Henderson that looks like an action-packed event, and I know you've grown that quite a bit just from this, you know, well, I guess pre-COVID. So nice work out there, and hopefully the teams have a lot of fun and, you know, get to enjoy a spring training or spring break experience in the Las Vegas area. And, you know, looking forward to, like Eric said, see how those games play out. So good job, Alec, and we will touch base with you in a couple weeks on the next show.
Nice job, Bubby.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That said, we're going to take another quick commercial break, and we'll be back with you to talk National Club Softball Association. Going to talk some club softball. We were going to get down to Lacey down in Panama City Beach. She's down there with the softball teams. But I think due to some weather concerns down there, she's not going to be able to join us.
Oh, sounds like we'll have some audio over.
Okay.
Hey, Lacey, are you there?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yes.
Welcome.
Okay.
What's going on,
Thanks for
Lacey?
Absolutely. You got Christian and Eric here. Yeah, thanks for joining us. I know you guys are busy down there running around.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's talk softball. What's all going on down there?
So, we were going to have our first games today, but sadly the rain canceled them. We played a couple innings. It was Iowa and Illinois. Great matchup we were having down there until the rain had to end it. But, yeah, we have about 5 teams down here this week. We have the University of Iowa, Air Force, Northern Illinois, the University of Florida, and Illinois. And I'm really excited to, see how those teams put up a fight against each other. And I'm just excited for all those games.
Okay. So today's games are canceled, and you're going to pick up reschedule for tomorrow. Is that the plan?
Yeah, that's the plan. We're trying to reschedule whenever we have time to do that. But, yeah, the goal is to, stay on track for tomorrow because we have a big day tomorrow.
Awesome. Let's talk NCSA Top 20. I don't know if you're able to see or if you have your Top 20 down there, but looks like we have University of Delaware staying strong at the number 1 spot.
Yep, that's for the third month in a row. University of Delaware is number 1. North Carolina is staying strong, number 2. University of Cincinnati and Clemson. Those are the top 4 teams. Those 4 are always close to the top. They put up a good fight against all of their competitors. And then we will be having a new top 20 come out for March at the end of this month.
Okay.
Awesome. Hey, me being very baseball oriented, I'm not as savvy with the softball side of things. Are there any softball teams that have clinched for the postseason yet, or where do you guys stand on that?
Yes, we actually have the University of Connecticut. They clinched a spot for the New England region.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to them.
Yeah.
And regionals, obviously, those are all have been selected. The latest being in Pacific, going to Yuba City and Blackburn Tally Park. But teams have all been made aware of the regional locations. Okay. You there, Lacey?
I'll take that as a yes.
I think I don't know if we lost Lacey or not, but believe all 8 regional locations have been finalized and teams have been notified of their locations.
The website, I'm sure, is updated.
Yep,
as well.
all the websites updated. And, we're obviously going back to Columbus, Georgia for the 2022 National Championship. We've been there. I think this will be our 12th year in a row in Columbus, Georgia. So all that information's on our website. Teams have been notified. And I'm trying to think off the top of my head what type of housekeeping things.
LPAs are sent out, correct?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I'm sure they are, sent out. And if they're not going to be sent out, they'll be sent out soon. I know we have some new teams that we have signed up on board. I believe 5 new teams for the 2023 season.
Okay.
So a lot of good things happening in softball. The common theme, I think, with this show is we're in the meat of all of our seasons where a lot of big things are happening, teams clinching spots in the postseason and such. So
stay tuned online.
Yes, stay tuned online. And let's get into some club football talk, NCFA.
That was
Look
pretty
at that,
good.
jinx, double
We're hitting
jinx.
our stride at the end of the show.
Yes.
That's a shame.
Bring Sandy back on. Maybe
Fake
not. Fake out. But we'll talk some club football realignment. And then we'll also get into some housekeeping items. Keep it pretty short on the football side of things. There he is.
I'm back, boys.
Welcome back.
Hey. Yeah, so I had a meeting with Director of Football Ops today, Dave Mogensen, who gave me the update on the number of teams that have renewed for this year. So we've got 17 teams coming back to the NCFA, signed, sealed, and delivered, ready to go. We've decided to go. He's decided a 3-conference system. So we're gonna have 3 conferences, which means 3 conference winners. and then a fourth at large bid will make the playoffs. So the fourth team, so
spicy.
someone gets like a second
Nice.
chance at life. So the Great Lakes is going to be the big conference, 7 teams with Michigan State, Oakland, Toledo, Ohio State, Miami, Wright State, and Loyola. The North Atlantic will be Clarkson, Sacred Heart, Pittsburgh, Coppin State, and George Mason. And the South Atlantic will be Middle Georgia, Columbus State, Gordon State, UNC Greensboro, and Longwood.
And will all those teams play each other in conference? Or?
Conference play, yes. They'll play everybody in their conference. Then they'll move on to the conference. The top two teams will move on to conference championships. The winners of those go on to the playoffs. Plus one at large bid will get picked.
Seems like a good system.
Yeah, that'll keep things exciting for those
Yeah,
teams that know that they're not going to win. They got to stay strong, finish.
Yeah,
finish on a good
there's
note.
like a second chance there. So he's now going to roll with getting the schedules out. His goal is to have them done this week.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So
Good job,
So,
Dave.
Yeah,
Like
boy,
it.
Dave Mogensen.
Any housekeeping items? Any paperwork teams should be looking out for? All-Americans? Anything from the past year?
Now the NCFA right now, the big thing is those schedules. And Dave's, we had this meeting today, and he was like, Sandy, do I move forward with schedules even if someone hasn't put in a schedule request? Absolutely. Like, we're not going to delay the train any longer. We're just waiting on 1 or 2 teams that didn't get their paperwork in from a deadline that passed 2 weeks ago. So he's got to go ahead. If you're one of those teams that never submitted a schedule request form, I would tell you probably have minutes to get that in to have your opinion put into play. So,
And you can't cry about it.
can't cry about it. You had a deadline, get it in. So, yep, time to move. Dave's got his pro football season coming up that he coaches. So, he's eager to get these schedules out, get that finalized, and move forward.
Good stuff.
So, and he did set a date for the annual league meeting for the NCFA. It'll be a Zoom meeting set for Wednesday, April 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central.
Look at you, everything off the top of the noggin. I'm impressed. Nice.
Hey.
Well done, Dave. I think that is going to conclude
Is that
our
it for
show.
football? Can I go back to the studio?
Yes, you can go.
good.
All right,
And
see
thank
everybody.
you, all the viewers. I'm sure there's millions out there for being patient with us. We are a little bit short-handed. We got our normal producer, Antonio, down in Panama City Beach, so a little short-handed in the office here, but appreciate you tuning in regardless.
Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. As always, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
That is our show for this month. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Suite 301. As always, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Just wanted to repeat that. Next episode is March 29th, so that's in 2 weeks, right here at 3:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Facebook Live. Join us to catch up on everything that's happening around Call Club Sports. Remember,
Oh, you beat me to it. It's a game.
have fun.
Fun.